Hello, everyone. Hello, this is Mathew Heggem. I am the Chief Strategist for HireEffect. I'm very happy to join you today with another guest. Today's guest is Lori Dixon. She's the founder and CEO of Walk with Lori, a visionary coach, author, speaker, and TV personality with 35 years of knowledge working in education, business, healthcare, and nonprofits. Her work is to empower others to re-envision their authentic self, activate their strengths, and embrace their journey in life. So Lori, you are doing some critical work for human beings. Congratulations and welcome to the show. How are you today?
I am wonderful, and thank you so much for having me on today.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about something that's really important to our viewers right now. And this month, our organization is focusing on this idea of sustainability. So I wanted to first and foremost give you a little bit of an opportunity to share some of your background, tell us how you ended up in this world of Walk with Lori, but then we're going to transition into a conversation about what your work means as it relates to sustainability. So before we get to that, why don't you just tell us a little bit more about your background and how you ended up where you are today?
Awesome. Thank you for that. I started out as wanting to be a part of looking at education and medicine, and kind of getting interested in all the early brain research. And so how people learn, how people behave, and how that affects every environment that's out there. And so from education down all the way to working with toddlers and infants and all the way up to college, and then also working in leadership and corporate and things like that, because it all is interrelated. We're all, being able to study human beings and being able to develop that idea of mind, body, and spirit all being interrelated in every day that we have. And so I started out really wanting to have hands-on. And so I was a therapeutic educator. Worked and developed programs for children, families, youth, and really getting into that idea of using therapeutic means, whether it's bringing in art and music, whether it's working with the brain and the way that it connects, but being able to develop those relationships. And then I took that information, moved into administration and being a professor and learning more and more for myself as well, so that I could share it with others. I've always created programs. I've always been a speaker and wanted to bring motivation and inspiration to people. So I went out and became a national speaker, and really wanted to look at environments that were having difficulty and bringing change into those environments and shifting the way that they were thinking and behaving and feeling and acting. And so it led to developing coaching practices. So I was certified in all different types of coaching. Whether it was cognitive or behavioral. And then I went out and started doing more leadership work and worked in every environment you can imagine. And it was a fabulous, fabulous journey. And at that point, I had an elderly mom who became very, very ill and needed to move in with us. And trying to run a business and having kids and grandkids and an elderly parent in hospice. And I'm speaking to all those people out there that are doing that same thing and trying to wonder, how in the world am I going to make all of this work? And so I ended up learning so much more about the way that we interact with each other, even in those final stages of life. And that there's still so much work that we can do together. And that it's honoring those last moments. And then myself, after doing that kind of work and very exhausting and challenging to the body, I became very, very ill myself. And got to the point of not being able to work and not knowing if I was still going to be here as well. And going from that space to really wanting to be here and finding the joy in every day was where Walk with Lori was actually born. It was born in that challenge. Knowing that I could go out there and do all of this change in different environments, but yet I couldn't get to that point of healing at that cellular level, I started working there again and developed more and more and more from that journey. And it led me to healing. It led me to getting back out and starting to speak a little bit again, but realizing that I wanted to really work with people that were in those moments of not being able to balance everything in life. And that's where part of my book was written.
Yeah.
And it was through the journey of healing and then beginning again and starting to blossom and working with people going through those daily struggles. And then it led me to being on a TV show and doing the same thing for them because I know what it's like. I lived it. I still walk it, folks. Believe me. So that's my sustainability.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that for many reasons. One, what's I think powerful about you and your capacity to serve is that you do have this very powerful, broad perspective. You've been in different places. You've served in different ways in terms of the work that you've done, and you've also gone through some intense experiences. I think the opportunity to learn from trauma is is intense because it's it's traumatic, and yet being able to it's kind of like I actually really appreciate even more so the name of your organization, Walk with Lori, because it's this idea of not walk to Lori. It's not like there's a destination that you have to get to, and if you're not there, you're not good enough. Because really, you're human just like everyone else, and it's this idea of being able to walk with somebody as you take one step forward in front of the other. So that's actually a really beautiful way of looking at your work. So thank you for sharing that story and that insight.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. So let's actually just in a more explicit way, let's actually tie that to sustainability. I think I'm sort of curious. You work with a lot of different people. I'm sure not just entrepreneurs, but I'm curious, what is it about your work that resonates? I think that resonates with entrepreneurs, and how does that relate to sustainability?
Yeah, I think part of it, Matthew, is being able to understand that life is about one step at a time. And so much of the time when we are trying to get to that goal that we have set for ourselves, that bar that's out here, and then we start comparing ourselves to all the other individuals that are walking alongside of us or ahead of us. We do that compare contrast. And what happens is we don't value the steps that are available to us in today, which then sustain us in our energy and our balance, in our thought processes, by tying in everything that we deal with in life every day outside of that entrepreneur walk, so that we can learn to walk stronger, be able to develop great relationships on that path, and know that that is the accurate journey that we're really meant to be on. You know, I laugh and say that so many of the people that I work with, we get in those off-roading kind of experiences. You know, someone draws us over and we get in the service road, and all of a sudden we're off in some cornfield and we're trying to dig ourselves out of the mud to get back on the path. And we think, oh my gosh, what have I done? But instead, it's learning to sustain ourselves and gain the strength, the wisdom, the strategies, and the tools while we're still off-roading that are going to apply to sustain us going forwards on that journey. And that's what it's about. It's one step at a time, and valuing it and learning from it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I want to dig one layer deeper on that before we move on to the next topic. You know, that's it. I love this idea of off-roading. Right? I can't tell you how many times I've been off-roaded. It's like, oh, this, like, it's the shiny object syndrome, I think, on some levels. Like, ooh, new toy, new thing, new idea, new opportunity, new client, like new what, and you don't even realize sometimes how maybe that client or that opportunity or that thing is not a good fit for you, and yet you say yes. I think a lot of the entrepreneurs will say yes because they need the money, or they want to like put that client on their you know, roster of clients or whatever the thing is. And that's one thing. But I think when, you know, you talked about the challenges and really the situation you had with your mother, and how that was really end of life preparation, and you know, that's a completely different category of off-roading. I mean, and in some ways it's not off-roading, it's just like, it's life and it's a part of who you are. So I'm sort of curious, like when an entrepreneur has, you know, they're like doing their thing, and you know, they feel like, and they have this sort of sense of accomplishment and drive and purpose, and then something big happens, something shifts their world. What advice do you have to them when they do have these unexpected traumatic events shake them up? Like how can you help them, or what advice can you give them to just be able to keep going? Because that can be very destabilizing. I'm sort of curious what your advice is there.
Yeah. And that's a fabulous question, because it is so relevant in today's world too. I will say that many of my clients, whether it's experiencing the loss of a job that you thought you were really trying to attain, and suddenly, you know, whether it's losing a big client of yours and your financial world crashes, or you see that client leave, we take those things so personally. Whether it's a child gets sick and you're having to stop your world to take care of those things that are in the off-roading situations. Or you made a bad decision in your mind, but really they're just meant to be experiences for us to gather that wisdom from, to then be able to get back on the road in a new way. And we may have stopped one of the bigger boulders or hurdles that we would have gone through on that path. We went around it on the service road, if you think of it that way. But what I will say, the thing that I try to give them to hold on to, is that the beauty in each day is that tomorrow we get a new chance. Tomorrow we get the chance to make new decisions. We get the chance to be a new us. And my phrase is, your I am changes hour to hour and day to day. And when you can embrace the I am that you are today, not the I am that you were last week, but the I am that you are now, with what you know, what you feel, and what you've been going through, it will strengthen you and give you new purpose to walk forward in a stronger and more meaningful way. And I will give you an example. A lot of my folks, when they go in that direction, anxiety starts to develop. And so I give more positive language to what they're going through, and the anxiety of learning to calm that inner critic and calm that adrenaline rush in the body. I teach breathing. I teach meditation. I teach relaxation strategies. We look at who around them are the people that will give them the most meaningful support, not the ones that are saying, well, that didn't work out again, did it? You know, it's not the people, and that could be a parent, you know, it could be, well, here we go again, you know, who are you going to be tomorrow, you know? And I use that voice because that's the one that is that grading one that is in our brain that we still carry every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I appreciate this idea of, I mean, it's such a blessing to wake up every day, right? And
Yes.
to realize that you get to, like the past is literally I mean, you're carrying it with you. I think oftentimes we struggle with, you know, lugging around the weight of the past. And yet the truth is every day is a new day, and you can wake up and you can see it differently, and you can walk one step forward into a completely new direction, and really own that and celebrate that. And that can be a path towards something that's greater, something that's more positive, or something that's more uplifting. And so it's a powerful opportunity to just wake up and claim that statement. You know, and I appreciate that. So let's talk about your book for a second, right? Okay, yeah. So first of all, for those of you who are watching, we do have a little bit of a special offer. Normally the book is $9.99. We're actually offering it to you for $3.99. We'll make sure to drop that information, that link, into the description section if you're watching this on YouTube, into the comment section if you're watching it on Facebook. We'll get you the link, no worries. But the book is called Step Out, Step Up, and Step Forward. So tell me, I mean, I love how everything that you do seems to have this sort of like action. It's like walking with Lori, stepping forward one step at a time. So I appreciate that. What I want to know though is, I understand that your book actually has a journaling component, and there's this piece about self-reflection and the importance of reflection. So first of all, I'd love you to just give us a little bit of a synopsis of what is your book really about, and then tie that out to this idea of reflection and how that plays a role in helping people to really step out, step up, and step forward.
Sure, definitely. It's actually my journey, interwoven in between strategies that I developed along the way, have used them with clients, and they have given such strong feedback that some of their stories, with permission, are in the book as well, because they gained so much in their life by being able to step out of the comfort zone, step up into that journey and that purpose. It's like thinking of it as going just a couple steps up and then standing there and seeing that journey in front of you and then stepping forward. So it's valuing each part of that. And then the last component of it is called envision leaping, because there are moments in life that you just get such a big explosion that you get to leap across that giant ravine and you're on the other side. And that's that meaningful thing that you can't wait to celebrate and tell others. And so it's all part of that journey. And then it's also got some stories about my work with two of the Real Housewives on the Dallas show. And so I was on in season 2. I have 2 of the girls as clients, Stephanie Holman and Carrie Duber. and I love them dearly, and they were stepping out and stepping up and stepping forward in their life as well. And so some of their stories and their journey are in the book too. And the reflection part, at the end of every chapter, because there are so many strategies and tools in the book, I want you to tell your story. And so you want to make those connections in your life to how you're doing your journey. We're telling our journeys and giving you ideas and meaningful ways of being able to do the same thing in your life. And so you get to actually answer questions at the end of every chapter. And then if you want to take it further, the journal is very reasonable. It's $7.99. It only comes in a print format. And so it also has coloring pages in it, the Zen doodles and things like that of some of the quotes in the book to help you strengthen that path for you. And it has quotes from myself and others on the end of every page so that you can continue to deepen and make the work yours. We want you to tell your story. And so that's what the journal and the book are about. And I do want to say that the special offer is on the book that is the ebook, so that it allows you to carry it with you everywhere. And that way you'll have right on your phone, you'll be able to say, what was that strategy? And that way you'll have it instead of carrying the book around with you. So that's why we did it on the ebook.
That's awesome. Thank you for that offer. People will really appreciate that. So we're going to wrap up. But before we do, I just want to ask you, I mean, I know you've got a lot of awesome initiatives going on. I know you're doing some great work with women. Is there anything that you want to share before we close out? Like what's down the pipeline for Lori? What's coming up in the future? Anything that you want to pass along?
Definitely. This month, we're starting to release a card deck that is actually going to have inspirational cards with the strategies and phrases out of the book, but also some others that we've been developing in the work since the book. The book came out at the end of last year, so we've had a couple more things that have gone on that we want to add in. The card deck will be called Simple Steps because that's what it is. So it will be full color and you'll be able to put them on your desk, carry them with you, give them away. So that'll be coming out. We also have a workbook that will, again, deepen your journey and give you more additional things that we didn't get to put in the book. And it will be coming out this summer. And I'm also starting our women's group that is a sister circle, and it's called Sawabono Sister Circle. And Sawabono means I see you. And so we want people to actually be seen on their walk, whether they're off-roading, whether they're on the service road trying to get back on, or whether they're on the journey and can help other women be seen in the work that they're doing in life. And so that's what we're going to be starting. And actually at the end of this month, we have our first event. So I'm very excited about that.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations, first of all, for all of your success. I mean, what you're doing for the world is obviously important, and the fact that you're able to do it, that's a testament to who you are and your capabilities. So I really appreciate you and just want to thank you for doing this great work for all of us who need to stand up, stand out, step forward, walk on the path and just like keep going. It's just such important work, especially in today's day and age. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Lori. I really appreciate it. Again, for those of you that are watching, I'll drop in the links below. Walk with Lori. Check it out. Check out the book. I highly encourage you all to get the journaling component down. That part, I know personally for myself, a lot of self-reflection has been how I've managed to get through some of my own personal challenges in life. And I just want to encourage you to follow through and follow up and own the opportunity to walk with Lori. All right, Lori, have a wonderful day. Enjoy your afternoon. And I look forward to talking with you again in the near future. Okay?
Me too. Thank you, Matthew. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Yes. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.